Keynsham is a town and civil parish between Bristol and Bath in Somerset, southwest England. It has a population of 16,000. It was listed in the Domesday Book as Keynsham, which is believed to mean the home of Saint Keyne. The site of the town has been occupied since prehistoric times, and may have been the site of the Roman settlement of Trajectus. The remains of at least 2 Roman villas have been excavated, and an additional 15 Roman buildings have been detected beneath the Cainesham. Keynsham developed into a medieval market town after Cainesham Abbey was founded around 1170. It is situated at the confluence of the River Chew and River Avon and was subject to serious flooding before the creation of Chew Valley Lake and river level controls at Cainesham Lock in 1727. The Great Flood of 1968 inundated large parts of the town. It was home to the Cadbury's chocolate factory, Somerset, which opened in 1935 as a major employer in the town. It is home to Memorial Park, which is used for the annual town festival, and several nature reserves. The town is served by Cainesham railway station on the London, Bristol and Bristol-Southampton trunk routes, and is close to the A4 road which bypassed the town in 1964. There are schools, religious, sporting, and cultural clubs and venues. History. Roman Trajectus. Evidence of occupation dates back to prehistoric times, and during the Roman period, Keynsham may have been the site of the Roman settlement of Trajectus, which is the Latin word for bridgehead. Quote, "It is believed that a settlement around a Roman ford over the River Avon existed somewhere in the vicinity, and the numerous Roman ruins discovered in Cainesham make it a likely candidate for this lost settlement." In 1877, during construction of the Early Hill Cemetery, the remains of a grand Roman villa with over 30 rooms was discovered. Unfortunately, construction of the cemetery went ahead, and the majority of the villa is now located beneath the Victorian cemetery and an adjacent road. The cemetery was expanded in 1922, and an archaeological dig was carried out ahead of the interments, leading to the excavation of 17 rooms and the rescue of 10 elaborate mosaics. At the same time as the Grand Roman Villa was being excavated at Early Hill Cemetery, a second, much smaller Roman villas was discovered during the construction of Fry's Somerset chocolate factory. 2 fine stone coffins were also excavated, interred with the remains of a male and a female. The villa and coffins were removed from the site and reconstructed near the gates of the factory grounds, and construction on the factory went ahead. Fry's constructed a museum on the grounds of the factory, which has the Early Hill mosaics, the coffins, and numerous other artifacts for many years. The factory was shuttered in 2011, and the property sold to Taylor Wimpey for redevelopment into a housing community. In 2012, Taylor Wimpey carried out a detailed geophysical assessment of the area, and discovered an additional 15 Roman buildings centered around a Roman road beneath Cainesham, with evidence of additional Roman buildings that have been disturbed by quarrying. Currently, there are no plans to excavate the Roman ruins at Cainesham. Medieval Cainesham. According to legend, Saint Keyne, daughter of King Brechan of Brackenham, lived here on the banks of the River Avon during the 5th century. Before settling here, she had been warned by the local king that the marshy area was swarming with snakes, which prevented habitation. Saint Keyne prayed to the heavens and turned the snakes to stone. The fossil ammonites found in the area were believed to be the result. However, there is no evidence that her cult was ever celebrated in Cainesham. Some scattered archaeological evidence suggests that an Anglo-Saxon settlement existed in Cainesham in the High Street area, and that in the 9th century a Minster church existed in Cainesham as well. The earliest documentary reference to Cainesham is in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, which refers to it as Cainesham, Old English for Cainesham. The town is also listed in the Domesday Book of 1086 as Keynsham. Quote, "It has therefore been suggested that the origin of Keynšam's name is not, in fact, Saint Keyne, but from Saint. Around 1170, Keynsham Abbey was founded by the Victorian congregation of canon regulars. Archaeological evidence suggests that the abbey was built over the site of the previous Saxon Minster Church. The settlement developed into a medieval market town, and the Abbey of Keynsham was given ownership of the Cainesham hundred. The abbey survived until the dissolution of the monasteries in 1539, and a house was subsequently built on the site. The remains have been designated as a Grade I listed building by English Heritage. Modern history. Keynsham played a part in the Civil War as the Roundheads saved the town and also camped there for the night, using the pub now known as the Lockkeeper Inn as a guard post. During the Monmouth Rebellion of 1685, the town was the site of a battle between Royalist forces and the rebel Duke of Monmouth. Bridges almshouses were built around 1685 and may have been for the widows of those killed in the rebellion. Post-World War II, before the creation of Chew Valley Lake and River level controls at Cainesham Lock and where Cainesham was prone to flooding. The Great Flood of 1968 inundated large parts of the town, destroying the town's bridges including the county bridge over the Avon which had stood since medieval times, and private premises on Daps Hill. The devastation was viewed by the Duke of Edinburgh. After the flood, the Memorial Park, which had been laid out after World War II, was extended. Keynsham rose to fame during the late 1950s and early 1960s when it featured in a long-running series of advertisements on Radio Luxembourg for Horace Batchelor's infradraw batting system. To obtain the system, listeners had to write to Batchelor's Cainesham post office box, and Keynsham was always painstakingly spelled out on air, with Batchelor famously intoning Keynsham, spelled Keynsham, Keynsham, Bristol. This was done because the proper pronunciation of Keynsham, does not make the spelling of Keynsham immediately obvious to the radio listener. Since the 1950s, Keynsham has become a dormitory town for Bristol and Bath. The High Street shopping area has been remodeled, and a town hall, library, and clock tower were built in the mid-1960s. 2010's regeneration. Design work for regeneration of the town hall area was awarded by Bath and North East Somerset Council to IDIS in 2010, with the works cost stated in 2011 to be £33 million. Realisation of the plans is hoped to attract new business and jobs. In the aftermath of the announcement of the Cadbury Somerdale factory closure in January 2012, it was announced that the Wilmot Dixon Group had been appointed as contractor on the scheme. The Council's Planning Committee in August 2012 deferred the approval decision, pending alterations to the external appearance of the building. These were approved in October 2012, with demolition commencing in the same month. The regenerated Civic Centre area came back into use in late 2014 and early 2015. Governance. The Town Council has responsibility for local issues, including setting an annual precept to cover the Council's operating costs and producing annual accounts for public scrutiny. The Town Council evaluates local planning applications and works with the local police, district council officers, and neighbourhood watch groups on matters of crime, security, and traffic. The Town Council's role includes projects for the maintenance and repair of parish facilities, such as the village hall or community centre, as well as consulting with the district council on the maintenance, repair, and improvement of highways, drainage, footpaths, public transport, and street cleaning. playing fields and playgrounds are provided in Memorial Park, Downfield, Kelston Road, Teviot Road, Holme Road and Manor Road, with basketball facilities at Teviot Road and Holme Road, and a BMX track at Cainesham Road. The Cainesham Town Council is also responsible for the football pitches and pavilion at Manor Road and the floodlit multi-sport site in Memorial Park. It also provides support for community groups organizing music and cultural events. Conservation matters and environmental issues are also of interest to the council. The Town Council was formed in 1991 and consists of 15 members elected every 4 years. There are 2 Labour and 13 Conservative. Cainesham has one official twin town, Libourne in France. From 1974 to 1996, Cainesham was administered as part of the short-lived county of Avon. It has since formed part of the unitary authority of Bath and North-East Somerset, in the ceremonial county of Somerset. Bath and North-East Somerset, which was created in 1996, was established by the Local Government Act 1992. The town is divided into Keynsham North, which has 5 Conservative councillors, Cainesham South, which is represented by 3 Conservative and 2 Labour councillors, and Cainesham East, which has the remaining 5 councillors, all of whom are Conservatives. Bath and North East Somerset provides a single tier of local government with responsibility for almost all local government functions within its area, including local planning and building control, local roads, council housing, environmental health, markets and fairs, refuse collection, recycling, cemeteries, crematoria, leisure services, parks, and tourism. It is also responsible for education, social services, libraries, main roads, public transport, trading standards, waste disposal and strategic planning, although fire, police and ambulance services are provided jointly with other authorities through the Avon Fire and Rescue Service, Avon and Somerset Constabulary and the Great Western Ambulance Service. Bath and North East Somerset's area covers part of the ceremonial county of Somerset, but it is administered independently of the non-metropolitan county. Its administrative headquarters is in Bath, but many departments are headquartered in Cainesham. Between the 1st of April 1974 and the 1st of April 1996, it was the Wansdyke district and the city of Bath of the county of Avon. Before 1974, the parish was part of the Cainesham urban district. The parish is represented in the House of Commons of the Parliament of the United Kingdom as part of the North East Somerset constituency, which is a county constituency created by the Boundary Commission for England as the successor seat to the Wansdyke parliamentary seat. It came into being at the 2010 general election, and is represented by the Conservative Jacob Rees-Mogg. It elects 1 Member of Parliament by the first-past-the-post system of election. It is also part of the South West England constituency of the European Parliament, which elects 6 MEPs using the DONT method of party list. Proportional representation. Geography. Cainesham is located where the River Chew meets the River Avon. Fishing rights for the Millground and Chewton sections of the Chew are owned by Cainesham Angling Club. The Millground stretch of the River Chew consists of the 6 fields on the western bank from Chewton Place at Chewton, Cainesham to the Albert Mill. The water is home to chub, roach, European perch and rudd, along with good numbers of gudgeon, dace and trout. Cainesham Lock on the Avon opened in 1727. Just above the lock are some visitor moorings and a pub on an island between the lock and the weir. The weir side of the island is also the mouth of the River Chew. Memorial Park, the northern part of which has existed as parkland since the 19th century, as shown by the Ordnance Survey maps of 1864 and 1867, was formally laid out after World War II was extended after the floods of 1968. It covers 10.7 hectares of woodland and grass alongside the river. It commemorates the war dead of Cainesham and includes facilities including 2 children's play areas, a skateboard park, multi-sport area, bowling green, public toilets, a bandstand and refreshment kiosk. The formal gardens within the park are adjacent to the River Chew, with the Daps Hill Woods at its western end. Part of the park is known locally as Chew Park because of its proximity to the river, and another area close to Cainesham Abbey as Abbey Park. The park received the Green Flag Award in 2008-09 and again for 2009-10. On the outskirts of Cainesham lies Keynsham Humpy Tumps, one of the most floristically rich acidic grassland sites within the Avon area. The site is on a south-facing slope running alongside the Bristol to Bath railway line. It consists of open patches of grassland and bare rock interspersed with blocks of scrub. It is the only site in Avon at which upright chickweed Monchia erecta occurs. Other locally notable plant species found here include annual Narelle Scleranthus anusps and Sparrispergulara rubra, subterranean clover Trifolium subterraneus and prickly sedge Carex moricata ssp. Lamprocarpa. The site does not have any statutory conservation status, and is not managed for its biodiversity interest. Threats to its ecological value include the encroachment of scrub onto the grassland areas, and damage from motorcycle scrambling. Between Cainesham and Saltford, a 15 hectares area of green belt has been planted, with over 19,000 trees, as the Manor Road Community Woodland, which has been designated as a nature reserve. Nearby is the Avon Valley Country Park tourist attraction. Along with the rest of southwest England, Cainesham has a temperate climate which is generally wetter and milder than the rest of England. The annual mean temperature is about 10 degrees Celsius with seasonal and diurnal variations, but due to the modifying effect of the sea, the range is less than in most other parts of the United Kingdom. January is the coldest month with mean minimum temperatures between 1 degree Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius. July and August are the warmest months in the region with mean daily maxima around 21 degrees Celsius. In general, December is the dullest month and June the sunniest. The southwest of England enjoys a favoured location, particularly in summer, when the Azores High extends its influence northeastwards towards the UK. Cloud often forms inland, especially near hills, and reduces exposure to sunshine. The average annual sunshine totals around 1,600 hours. Rainfall tends to be associated with Atlantic depressions or with convection. In summer, convection caused by solar surface heating sometimes forms shower clouds, and a large proportion of the annual precipitation falls from showers and thunderstorms at this time of year. Average rainfall is around 800 to 900 millimeters. About 8 to 15 days of snowfall is typical. November to March have the highest mean wind speeds, with June to August having the lightest. The predominant wind direction is from the southwest. Demography. In the 2001 census, Cainesham had a population of 15,533, in 6,545 households, of which 6,480 described themselves as white. Cainesham East Ward had a population of 5,479, Cainesham North 5,035 and Cainesham South 5,019. In each of the wards, between 75 and 80% of the population described themselves as Christians, and around 15% said that they had no religion. In 1881, the population of the civil parish was 2,482. This grew gradually until 1931, when there were 4,521, before there was a steeper rise to 1951 when there were 8,277. Over the next 10 years this nearly doubled to 15,152 in 1961. Economy. An important industry in the town was Cadbury's chocolate factory, the Somerdale factory. The J.S. Fry and Amp Sons business merged with Cadbury in 1919, and moved the factory in the centre of Bristol to Keynsham in 1935. As Quakers, the factory was built in a 228-acre greenfield site with social facilities, including playing fields and recreational sports grounds, called Somerdale after a national competition in 1923. Cainesham Cadbury was the home of Fry's chocolate cream, the double-decker, dairy milk and mini eggs, Cadbury's fudge, Chomp and Crunchy. On the 3rd of October 2007, Cadbury announced plans to close the Somerdale plant by 2010 with the loss of some 500 jobs. Production will be moved to factories in Birmingham and Poland. In the longer term, it is likely the greenfield site will be reclassified and provide Cainesham with additional housing. Labour MP for Wansdyke Dan Norris said, "News of the factory's closure is a hard and heavy blow, not just to the workforce, but to the Cainesham community as a whole." In late 2007, campaigns to save the Cadbury's factory in Somerdale were in full swing. One local resident started a campaign to urge English Heritage to protect the site and preserve the history of the factory. The campaign did not succeed, and as of February 2009, the site is still scheduled for closure and likely demolition. Cadbury have suggested that the land be redeveloped as a mixture of housing and commercial interests, giving a figure of approximately 900 jobs being created as a result. Before the takeover of Cadbury in February 2010, Kraft Foods had pledged to keep the Cadbury factory at Somerdale open if they were successful in the bid for the company. However, within a week of completing the purchase of Cadbury, Kraft CEO Irene Rosenfeld released a statement announcing that Kraft were to close the factory by 2011, as originally planned by Cadbury. The stated reason for this was that it was only after the purchase had been made that Kraft realized how advanced Cadbury's plans were. Industry experts have, however, questioned this explanation, arguing that Kraft invested so much in researching the bid for Cadbury that they should have been aware of the extent to which plans had been advanced. Culture. In 1969, the town was featured as the title of the fourth album Keynsham by the Bonzo Dog Band. The title was chosen in honor of Horace Batchelor, who had been referenced in previous Bonzo Dog Band recordings. In the early 1960s, Batchelor became known through his regular advertisements on Radio Luxembourg for his football pool's prediction service. When giving his contact address, he would slowly spell out Keynsham letter by letter, and this became an amusing feature for many young listeners. Keynsham Festival, which started in the late 1990s, takes place in the Memorial Park each July, and attracts around 16,000 people. There is also a Victorian evening held in the town each November. Keynsham and Saltford Local History Society was formed in 1965 and is concerned with researching and recording the history of the area. Keynsham was chosen as the outdoor location for a dramatic storyline in the BBC One TV serial EastEnders in September 2012, with filming taking place in a cordoned-off section of the High Street. In Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, Catherine and her friends ride to within view of the town of Cainesham. Transport. The town is served by Cainesham Railway Station on the London, Bristol and Bristol-Southampton trunk routes. It opened in 1840 and was renamed Keynsham and Somerdale in 1925. The factory had its own rail system which was connected to the main line. The connection to Fry's chocolate factory was taken out of use on the 26-27 July 1980. The station's name reverted to Cainesham on the 6th of May 1974. The station was rebuilt in 1985 as a joint project between British Rail and Avon County Council. The A4 road used to run through the town, however much of this traffic is now carried on the bypass, which was constructed in 1964. The bypass runs from Saltford, a village which adjoins Cainesham, to Brislington, Bristol. Cainesham is on the Monarch's Way long-distance footpath which approximates the escape route taken by King Charles II in 1651 after being defeated in the Battle of Worcester. The town is served by no less than 9 bus routes, 5 of which connect Bath with Bristol, one which runs from Ashton Way at the back of the shops to Bristol city centre via Kingswood. Another bus service runs from Ashton Way at the back of the shops to Southmead Hospital, and one bus service runs to Cribbs Causeway. One bus runs to Mangotsfield. In numerical order: A4 Bath to Bristol Airport, 17 Saint Keysham to Southmead Hospital, 38 Bath to Bristol, 39 Bath to Bristol, 178 Bath to Bristol via Radstock, 349 Cainesham to Bristol. Education. State-funded schools are organised within the Unitary Authority of Bath and North East Somerset. A review of secondary education in Bath was started in 2007, primarily to reduce surplus provision and reduce the number of single-sex secondary schools in Bath, and to access capital funds available through the government's Building Schools for the Future programme. There are several primary schools in Cainesham, including St John's Primary School, Castle Primary School, Chandag Infants and Junior School, and New School Saint Keyne Primary School. There are also 2 secondary schools, Wellsway School and Broadlands School. Wellsway School is an 11 to 18 mixed comprehensive school which was established in 1971 by amalgamating Cainesham Grammar School and Wellsway County Secondary School, both of which opened on a shared site in the mid-1950s. Most students that attend the school live in Cainesham and Saltford or the nearby villages. As of 2007, approximately 1350 students attend the school, ranging in age of 11 to 18, with 64% achieving 5 or more AC grades at GCSE. Wellsway's bid for specialist school status was accepted in September 2007. Meaning that Wellsway School now specializes as a sports and science college. This means the school has joined the national network of specialist schools, resulting in every school in Bath and North East Somerset now having a specialism. A joint bid is unusual as there are only 6 schools in the country with a combined sports and science specialism. Broadlands School, which has specialist science college and engineering college status, has 1058 students between the ages of 11 and 16 years. The school opened in 1935. Nearby Bath has 2 universities. The University of Bath was established in 1966. It is known, academically, for the physical sciences, mathematics, architecture, management and technology. Bath Spa University was first granted degree awarding powers in 1992 as a university college, before being granted university status in August 2005. It has schools in art and design, education, English and creative studies, historical and cultural studies, music and the performing arts, and social sciences. The city contains one further education college, City of Bath College, and several sixth forms as part of both state, private, and public schools. In England, on average in 2006, 45.8% of pupils gained 5 grades
grades AC including English and Maths, for Bath and North East Somerset pupils taking GCSE at 16 it is 52.0%. Special needs education is provided by Three Ways School.